Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is a comparison between the Vivo V9 and the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Yes, there is a huge difference between both the phones in terms of price and what they offer, but they are pretty good phones at their price segment. So let's see how they compete against each other. First we have the Redmi Note 5 Pro, which is sold online exclusively on Flipkart and mi.com, starting at 15,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, and the next variant is priced at 17,000 rupees for 6GB of RAM and the same 64GB of storage. Yes, recently the prices increased for the Note 5 Pro for the base variant. It is available in black, gold, lake blue and rose gold colors. And as you might have already known, it is available only in weekly flash sales and it's really hard to get them. Now coming to the Vivo V9, it is sold both online and offline at a price tag of 23,000 rupees. It's available in 3 colors, pearl black, champagne gold and sapphire blue. Black is always the one I would suggest you to go. Now unlike the Redmi Note 5 Pro, there's ample amount of stock for the V9 and you can easily buy it anytime and anywhere. And that's a huge advantage for Vivo. By the way, these are the SAR values of both phones. Now let's look at the design and build. On one hand, Redmi Note 5 Pro comes with a semi-metal build with a metal back panel with 2 plastic strips at the top and bottom for antennas. It looks good and it's very well built. It has a thickness of 8.05 mm and weighs 181 grams. The first moment you pick up the phone, you'll definitely notice that the phone is heavy. Now coming to the V9, it is a complete plastic build with a nice glossy finish on the back, which definitely looks very premium. It has a thickness of 7.89 mm and weighs just 150 grams. So when you pick it up, despite of having a huge display, phone feels very light in hand. And when compared with the Redmi Note 5 Pro, V9 definitely feels much sleeker and lighter. Now coming to the back, both phones attract fingerprints, both phones are slippery, and both phones come with a free case in the box. And that's a very good gesture from both companies. Both phones have power and volume buttons on the right side. They are very well elevated and have a nice tactile feel on both phones. Both phones have a similar design on the back with a vertically aligned dual camera setup and a fingerprint scanner which is easily accessible to the index finger. Both phones also have a camera bump, but it is slightly larger on the Note 5 Pro. Just so you know, both phones are super slippery and you definitely need a case to hold on to them. So on the whole, in terms of build, Redmi Note 5 Pro is definitely better because of the metal build, but it's heavy and feels very thick. On the other hand, V9 feels very light in weight and because of the curved back, it feels much sleeker than the Note 5 Pro. So on the whole, in terms of design and build, I'll definitely pick V9 as the winner. Now coming to the hardware section, both phones come with all the basic sensors including compass, gyroscope, FM radio, LED notification light, fingerprint scanner and a face unlock feature. Additionally, Redmi Note 5 Pro has an infrared blaster that you can use to control AC, TV or anything that has an infrared remote. Now that's a huge deal for me, but many people might not appreciate it. Now coming to the fingerprint scanner, it is fast on the Redmi Note 5 Pro and it is super fast on the V9. It's definitely noticeably faster. Now coming to the face unlock feature, once again both phones offer it, but comparatively, V9's face unlock feature is much more faster both in well-lit conditions and in low lighting conditions. This is a SIM card tray of Redmi and it houses a nano SIM slot and a hybrid SIM slot, whereas Vivo's SIM card tray sports 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot, which is like a huge advantage for Vivo. Both phones support dual SIM and I have used Jio and Airtel networks on both phones and I didn't have any issues with call quality or signal reception. So that's pretty much a tie. So on the whole, even in the hardware department, I'll pick the Vivo V9 as the winner because of the super fast fingerprint scanner and faster face unlock feature. Now coming to the display, Redmi sports a 5.99-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution in the new 18:9 aspect ratio with smaller bezels at the top and bottom with a 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass protection. Now V9 has a massive 6.3-inch IPS display with the same Full HD Plus resolution, but with the newer 19:9 aspect ratio and a display notch. Even this display is protected by a 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass. Now both phones come with a similar display protection, but the displays on both phones are completely different. On Note 5 Pro, as you can see, there are huge bezels at the top and bottom, while Vivo has a 90% screen to body ratio and the display simply looks stunning. It gives you a much more immersive experience than the Redmi. So in the display department, Vivo V9 is the winner. Sunlight legibility and viewing angles are good on both phones, but for media consumption like watching videos or even playing games, V9 gives you a much more immersive experience. By the way guys, most of the applications open in full view mode by default on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. But on Vivo, we need to manually make them open in the full view mode. Otherwise, you'll see two black bars on either side while playing games or while even watching videos on YouTube. It's not a big deal, but I wish Vivo could do it automatically. Now coming to the camera department, I've already posted a dedicated video on the camera comparison. Do check that out for more information and sample shots, but here's the gist. Rear cameras are better on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Well, Vivo has better hardware, it even supports auto HDR for rear cameras, but it simply overexposes the shot and makes it look bad. So rear cameras are simply better on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Now coming to selfies, V9 definitely takes much better selfies than the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Now both phones support portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Here are the sample shots, and once again, I find V9 to be doing a much better job while taking portrait shots and portrait selfies. Yes, edge detection is slightly better on the Redmi, but on the whole, images look better on Vivo. Now coming to video recording, here's the sample footage. Redmi offers electronic image stabilization, but we can't record video in 4K resolution. Vivo doesn't offer any kind of stabilization, but we can record video at 4K resolution using the front and rear cameras. Comparatively, footage quality is better on Vivo, but just because of the stabilization, I'll pick Redmi as the winner. Now coming to the front camera video recording, here's the sample footage, and once again, Vivo does a better job here. So guys, that was a quick camera comparison. Now let's talk about the performance. Redmi Note 5 Pro sports a Snapdragon 636 processor with Adreno 509 GPU. Vivo V9 sports a Snapdragon 626 processor with Adreno 506 GPU. These are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. Now coming to day-to-day performance, both phones are very responsive, but on side-by-side comparison, obviously Redmi Note 5 Pro is better. It can open apps much faster and you'll get a much better gaming experience. So in the performance round, it's a no-brainer, Redmi Note 5 Pro is the winner. Now coming to the software section, both phones are running a heavily skinned version of Android. Redmi Note 5 Pro is running MIUI 9 on top of Android 7.1.1. Yes, it's still on Nougat. Vivo V9 is running something called FunTouchOS 4.0 based on Android 8.1. As both phones are running custom skins, both phones offer a lot of cool features like double tap to wake, clone app, secondary space, screen gestures and much more. But comparatively, Redmi offers much more features and they are very well implemented. For example, we can use dual apps for all the applications on Redmi, while we can use it only for few applications like Facebook, Instagram or WhatsApp. Now split screen mode has been on Android for a very long time and we can use it for all the applications on Redmi, but on Vivo, only few applications support that. Yes, it has a massive screen, it looks gorgeous, but what's the use if you can't use all the applications in the split screen mode? So that's one of the disappointing things about Vivo. Now coming to memory management, once again Redmi is the winner here. It was able to keep more than 12 applications in memory, while Vivo kept barely 8 apps in memory. So on the whole, you get a much better software experience on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. It doesn't mean Vivo is bad, it just means Redmi is better. Both phones also offer gestures like the iPhone X to give you a much more immersive experience. Like we can swipe from the sides to go back and swipe from the center to go home, swipe and hold for recent apps. While gaming, I've seen a maximum temperature of 46 degrees on the V9 and 44 degrees on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. In my heat test, where I take pictures continuously for 5 minutes, I've seen a maximum temperature of 50 degrees on the Vivo V9 and 47 degrees on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So comparatively, Redmi Note 5 Pro heats less than the Vivo V9, but because of the metal build, it takes a bit more time to cool down. Now V9 definitely gets heated up more, but because of the plastic build, it cools down much faster. So guys, on the whole, gaming experience is good on both phones, but it's comparatively better on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Yes, both phones heat up a lot, but that's like the worst case scenario. Most of the time, it won't cross 42 or 44 degrees on both phones. Now with that said, Redmi definitely heats less than the Vivo V9. Now coming to the audio department, both phones come with a 3.5mm audio jack and a mono speaker at the bottom. Speakers on both phones are equally loud, and the audio experience on headset on both phones is just average. There isn't anything noticeably good on both phones in the audio department. So it's a tie in this round. Now coming to the battery department, Redmi Note 5 Pro sports a 4000 mAh battery, comes with a normal 10 watts power adapter, but supports Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0. Vivo V9 sports a 3200 mAh battery, comes with a regular 10 watts power adapter, and doesn't support fast charging. Now processors on both phones are built using the 14nm architecture, so they are power efficient and you get good battery life on both phones. On normal usage, I got around 4 to 6 hours of screen on time on the Vivo V9 and somewhere around 5 to 7 hours of screen on time on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Vivo V9 can definitely last you a day and Redmi can last you 1.5 days. So on the whole, in the battery department, Redmi Note 5 Pro is definitely the winner because of the bigger battery and fast charging support. So guys, to conclude, for a base price of 15,000 rupees, Redmi Note 5 Pro is definitely a great value for money. You're getting better performance, better battery life, good cameras, and a better software experience. Now coming to Vivo V9, yes, it's definitely pricey, but if you're a normal user and price is not an issue for you, I'll definitely suggest you this phone. With Vivo V9, you will be getting an awesome looking display, phone feels lighter and sleeker than Redmi, it takes better pictures and better selfies, and it has a super fast fingerprint scanner and face unlock feature. It also has a dedicated SD card slot and comes with a very fast face unlock feature. So if you're a power hungry user and want better value for money, stick with the Redmi Note 5 Pro, wait in the line for the flash sales, and definitely get the Redmi Note 5 Pro. But if you're a normal user and price is not an issue, you can definitely go with the Vivo V9, which looks and feels amazing. So guys, out of these two phones, which phone do you like the most and why? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy either of these phones, use the link in the description, it really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag ASKGREEDYTECH on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. I'll see you in my next video.